Okay, folks. Let's see if you can hear me or not. Hopefully you can here. Looks like you can. Looks like everything's going good. All right. Today I'm doing something a little different. I'm doing something I've been working on here. One of the board games I've been working on. This is the second one. Technically, this is the third one. I've been working on here. Just basic stuff. This is what it's. I got one that is mostly done. Still need some playtesting. I've gotten stuff made for it as of right now because it's doing so well, but I ran out of money. I'm not working. Blah, blah, blah. This one here, though, is one of the ones that's on. Um, it's just starting. I've debated on doing, though, is one of the ones that's on. Um, it's working. All right. So let's see. Edit. I still got to change this. Um, working, working, working on my board game. Streaming in real life. Yeah, there we go. Done. It's the first time I'm doing it in real life one here, so yeah. But this is what I'm working on right now. What this deals with is, which I've been working on this for a while, even before my shoulder injury. So it's almost a year, if not more. Um, what it is you roll dice and determine hits. Right now, I was debating on changing the names. The chaplain for healer, the champion for the paladin, the burglar for the thief, of course, the magician for the wizard, minstrel for the bard, and the fighter, of course, plain Jane fighter. But what it is you roll dice. You're allowed so many dice, which what was it? I haven't done this in a while actually. So yeah, I still was working on D10s, which I changed it over to D6s. These are some of the ones I was working on. The tier 1 weapons. You get 2 swords, because on the D6s, 6 D6s, yes. And then 4 special D6s of elemental, which are magic weapons and stuff like that. And what it is it's sort of a deck building game, but with dice. You roll dice. You get tier 1, you get 2 dice to start. Now, for other things, you get dice also. There will be other things with dice. For example, I don't know. Let's see if I still got it in here. Right. The races. Humans gain 1 extra dice when making up the character. Elves get 1 extra dice in wizard or cleric. Dwarves get 1 extra dice when making extra hit point when making a character. The Fae get 1 extra die in rogue or bard. Loses 1 dice when 1 hit point when making the character. The hill half giant gain 1 extra dice in sword. Does 1 extra damage and loses 2 accessories. This is what I'm working on here, trying to figure out what I want to do. This is basically what I'm trying to figure out right now. And for example, a dagger, a club takes 2 swords, which will be on a 6-sided dice when you roll a 6-sided dice, because they're going to have swords and defense dice. Well, I originally was planning on doing each set was different. but I changed it here. When you get your card, it's going to be a card, literally. It's going to have chaplain on it. 6 health, 8 health, 10 health, depending on how much you have. Plain and simple, for example. And you start off with a mace, a chain shirt, which that might change too. Bless, which is going to be spells, of course. And what type of weapons they're allowed to have. Which this is all going to change, but that's where it's at right now, of course. Because I'm going to make it, the D6 is just basic. And the 4 sets of 2 elemental dice: earth, air, fire, and water. Plain and simple. That's real easy. Everything's going to be based off the elements for this. So it's not D&D, but it's D&D like. So you're gonna start off with a number of creatures in the deck. Is what happens at your adventure. There's also can be traps. There's also going to be specific rooms, and there's going to be what was it? I didn't put it in there yet. What I was thinking about doing is putting in. It's all dungeon based right now. The first game will be all dungeon based. It will have what is it called? Rooms, especially rooms. You could end up, say it says draw 2 cards draw 2 goblins out of the discard pile, for example. Or it could be a trap, a boulder or pit. Pit's the easiest one. Pit appears. Have to have so many successes. And that's literally where I'm at here. So, chaplain. So right now that's where I'm working on. Chap. Paladins. As you can see, like I said, I put it down. Champions. Burglar. Which, right here, find traps. May rule any die if encounters a trap. Which is good. Which I know I'm going to have to change. See, originally I was going to have each group have their own dice. I'm still thinking about using D10s instead. I always like D10s. Plus, you can have more things on there. Delete, delete. There we go. Oh, one more. Delete. There we go. The tier 1, there's going to be different tiers of monsters. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. And then the legendary monsters, which I had above, which is a storm giant and a blue dragon. These are the legendary monsters. I have to come up with names, of course, but yeah. This is all part of it. What components I have. I want to have 30 humanoid cards, robbers, highwaymen, stuff like that. 30 oozes. Okay. You know, the normal ooze types. So. Beast cards, bear, wolf. Because you could have a druid here, which will include having the druid in the later expansions if I so choose. Like I said, this is all my weird stuff I'm doing. And I didn't want to do a regular video on this. I wanted to actually do this specifically. It still says Star Wars on it here. Let's see if it refreshes and changes. There we go, in real life. Yay, it worked. Okay, just want to make sure. One of the spells is Bless. Maybe roll a dice. Which I still got to figure how those are going to work exactly. I'm not sure if I want to have them. You cast it during the combat, or you can cast it before combat once. So, but this is all stuff. Sword hit on one success, which is a little sword icon. So I've already figured out certain things. It does 1 damage. Everything will have 1 health. Like goblins are going to have like 2 health. Goblin thief. And they got descriptions in here. 2 goblins will gang up on the first people who attack. Always attack in pairs or more. So that's an idea there. So kobolds, 2 kobolds will gang up on attack the last person who attacked. So it's just not regular stuff here. I know. A giant rat. They just randomly attack people. You simply just roll dice. That's who you attack. Zombie, too stupid. And they're slow as heck, so attackers may reroll 1 dice when attacking zombies. They had 2 health, giant rat, 1 health, 1 health. I did make them 1 health. Although that might change too. That's just too easy. But for whole adventure, that might not be too easy. So that's the reason why I made it 1 health. It's stuff you have to actually play to find out. Skeleton fighter, 2 health, bonus defense, reduce any sword damage by 1. They got rusty swords, which does 1 damage. Wolf fighter, 2 health, teeth. See, these are all the things I have to add in here. That's what I'm hopefully going to work on here. Dire wolf. Let's see, what's the big one? Exhausted human fighter, which leather armor removes 1 dice. You're allowed to hold. I know we're already going to have sacks, bags, backpacks, stuff like that. Those things will allow you to hold a dice. Okay, so you roll dice. Oh look, I got a sword. I want to keep that dice for next turn because I rolled an extra sword. Okay, or an extra one of the defense dice. Okay, I want to save that for the next roll. And that's at least the plan there. Sword. See, right now I put down medium 1 damage, 1 sword, 1 shield. But like I said, all these things can change. That got way bigger than what it's supposed to be. So let's bring this down 1. There we go. And that there. Wait. Oh, I want this still bigger. Right to there. And this one can go right to there. Shield can be merged. But this is the idea. So there's another one. Huh. Wonder why they didn't stick the last time I did this. This will go out here. This will go here. Attacks happen simultaneously. Can re-roll any elemental I thought so. Dice. Can roll 1 elemental die. Gain one extra sword, one extra die in sword. They automatically, half giants automatically get one extra die in sword, which I was thinking about making it. Just does one extra damage. No, because it loses two accessories. They don't fit the giant very well. Accessories don't. You gain one extra sword per dice roll. Sword. Per die rolled. Which is the reason why I think I came up with it's got to have two things per weapon, no matter what. And you always got to have two, at the minimum two. The foot is the ability to dodge traps. So a dagger, it's a little bit harder to hit somebody with a dagger, but it's light. Like I said, I'm still working on how all these things work together. Say if you were half giant, all you would need is one sword. And say if you got three dice, you roll three dice, you get all swords. You hit the guy twice then. That's how multiple attacks work. You can hit two of them. That's what I'm planning on here. But I'm thinking about raising this up here to 3, 4, and 5. That way at 6, when you're at tier 6, tier 3, you get 6 dice at max. Because you gain one for extra, an extra die when making up the character. Elves gain one extra die in Wizard or Cleric when making up the character. Dwarfs gain just extra hit point. I was thinking about giving a dwarf an extra hit point, extra defense, but yeah, that's what it was. And can reroll one defense dice. There we go. We'll make a character can also can reroll when disarming traps. And lose one hit point when making a character. That's at least the idea there. And then a half giant gain one sword per die rolled, does one extra damage. And loses 2 accessories. Because you're allowed to have, let's see, 6 accessories, which those are also the spells. Wizards can put wizards and chaplains and bards, magicians, wizards, and minstrels can use spells. Any spells. Wizards kids, of course, well, they're not wizards, they're magicians. Paste, minstrels. I already changed that one. Except, I gotta change this one. You can use any paste magician spells. And they have magicians, of course, have the lowest health. Champion has 13. Chaplain has. Minstrel has 9. Let's see. Minstrel fighters. Yep. I didn't change the fighter part. So. Yeah. But they get dual weapon fighting, can have a second weapon and accessories. That's where the accessories come from. If I show you here, let's show you. Let's see, venture dice. Here we go. Let's show this off. Add screen capture. Boom. That gives you an idea of what I'm actually looking at here for the cards. This is basic looking cards. Name, class, health, weapon, armor, accessories. Now it's not perfect looking, but somehow that got goofed up, but okay, that's okay. Health, race, class, name, and then the health, weapon. Weapon goes right here. Armor. Except this thing will probably be a little. I want them all the same size. So they're just regular cards that you just place on this. So you can actually see what you're doing. You could have a potion of healing, a sack. Yeah, a sack, which would let you store one extra, which will have a spot for the storing one extra dice there. This is what I plan on doing here. And say you found a ring of protection, gives you one extra defense dice during combat. Not for each combat, each attack roll, just one. So that's how it would work. So, a ring of shielding, I would call it. So you can place a single die right here. So you can use it up at any point in time you want. That sort of stuff. A wand of fireballs, which gives you an elemental dice automatically, and per elemental dice you roll, which that's where I got to get another thing I'm working on. Wizards doing this. Yeah, it's not too exciting, but I wanted to go through this time because this is what I have fun doing, working on. That's not it. This. There we go. But this is what I'm having fun working on here. And I think I'm going to use D10s. That's the only thing I'm not D6s, D10s. But it'll just be one set of D10 instead of multiple D10s. So D10, 1, 2, 3. I might just put this at the bottom with the other stuff. Yeah, probably better. Take out these things. Enter. Dice. Attack. Defense dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Which blank? Always gonna have one blank. Always gonna have one superpowered one. So the question is, should I have it sword, shield, foot? Have all three of them on there? It's a D10, so probably only 2 would be max on there. So let's just start from here. We got foot and foot. We know this much. We got shield, shield. We know that much. Then we got sword and sword. Problem is, rolling one dice, just rolling that would not be enough. So, for example, the sword would have to go shield. Foot. So 2 things on it at once would make a difference. Shield would make it sword. And foot. And, of course, sword. And shield. Now the question is, this one's going to be blank too, obviously. The question after that will be, what will be number 9 and 10? Should I have it all 3 of them? Because right now you're missing, if you're trying to attack with a sword, you're missing 1, 2, 3, 4. You're hitting 4 out of 10 times, which isn't very good. I need at least be 6 out of 10 times, so that I have to have the shield part won't make that much of a difference. Should I just have sword there, period? That way they have a better chance of, because blocking should be a little bit harder. Should I have a sword shield and then sword? Yeah, I think so. Sword / shield. And just a sword. This is at least the idea I'm working on. For the attack dice. Now the elemental dice, that's going to be a little easier. I'm still going to have I'll still have only 6-sided dice for elemental dice. Make them sort of special. because you're always going to have something there from that. You can and you can mix them up here. That's the question. How am I going to mix them up here? But the elemental dice are really easy. None. None. This is a question. Do I want to make each elemental dice special or just by itself? Like I could do. They're all going to have fires, for example. Fire, 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 fire. But the fire dice could have wind. Every elemental buffs another elemental, can buff another elemental. This will provide extra dice. Using a wand to fireball. Let's see. And a wind spell together could produce devastating effects. Also, later on, if you get like more fire abilities, it's like okay, you can produce a really big fireball. You need to be wind, or it could just be two fire. A fireball is tier 2, right? You have to have fire and wind. Boom. And for each fire and wind you have, boom, it's more powerful. That means earth and water goes together, of course. Because, yeah, each one will have an opposite one. Right? It'll propel the opposite one. And then later ones I can have ice, stuff like that. Plain and simple. So I would have to change up the top part. And change this. I'm going to use a, let's see, let's merge these two. Yeah, let's merge all three of these together. Merge cells. There we go. May use it once in one spell from. May use one spell from any spellcaster. May use spells from any spellcaster. That's a better word to use. Group. Spellcaster group. Because at later times I might have a druid and stuff like that, which I really would want druid. I like druid. But as of right now, I'm only having 6, the basic classes. May use spells from any spellcaster group. Um, and any single elemental dice. Oh no, that's not right. And no. uses one single elemental die. That'll prevent the minstrels from being too powerful, where the magicians can use uh, see, I'm going to change this to scry, changes to spellcasting. There we go. Can use 2 elemental dice. Merge cells. There we go. And of course, divine power. Merge. Can use 2 elemental dice. I'm still thinking about giving magicians light and just, yeah, because having a medium at the very start is too much. Light, medium, heavy. Delete. There we go. And the minstrels can use light, medium, medium, so there won't never be any higher than medium spells, which is their downfall. But they can use any spell, but only one single elemental dice. So that gives them their weakness. See, in the fighter, I originally had them going up just +3 per level. But instead, I just put it down straight at +3 per level. It's been working on this for a while, as you can see. But I like the idea of holding dice. 3, 4. So that way, problem is I've still got to figure out how to level up, which what I'm thinking is defeating bosses. To level up, you must defeat X number of bosses. Which all these cards will have a front and back side to them with bosses. Weapon, armor, wizard, magician, chaplain. Might as well change it now before I forget. Chaplain cards and magician cards. Yeah, I don't need that. Which are pretty much the same thing, but it gives them something different. And why is that different? This. Times Roman 12. Okay. This is Arial. Okay. Change this to Arial. Change this to Arial. I had them as 11. 11. There we go. The only problem is accessory cards, which means that's the fun part of coming up with that many cards. But I'm still uh, six 10-sided dice. Four sets of two elemental dice, which makes it 8, 14. Yeah, that's right. Okay. As I said, this gives you the idea. Tier 1 weapons. Still, this might just do this instead. Does one extra damage. Loses one accessory. Here we go. So when the half giant hits you, you will feel it. At least that's my plan here. Turn the light on because it's getting kind of dark outside. With the snow coming down and stuff like that. Supposed to get 5 inches here from tonight till Sunday here. So yeah. Attacks happen simultaneously, so if you're fighting against a goblin, everybody rolls dice at the same time. More than likely, there just won't be one goblin there. All dice rolls are done at one time. Which, for a goblin, I would have to put down, no, because I put down thief. Which is the burglar. Which doesn't mean anything now. I changed it, what I was going to do. I did originally have it down as um, every group would have their own set of dice. And I changed it from that. Instead, having, as you can see, just one set of dice for the whole thing. So having a fighter thief on here doesn't mean jack anymore. So that's one of the things I changed. Because, I mean, that would have been more work for me, but it really didn't add anything to it. The only thing is, I don't want just regular creatures here in tier 1. I got to come up with skeleton archer, okay, undead skeleton sword master, something like that. I just don't want generic names. Flaming zombie. And you can be able to tailor your adventures how you want to. You can make up your own adventures. Um, that's the fun thing here. You won't be able to just use what my adventures say, what the rulebook's adventures say. You'll be able to, okay, we're going against the dungeon that gives you one extra magic each time. or dampens your magic, which can hurt. It's going against in the dungeon that increases your magic. You're fighting against the necromancer. Level tier one. Oh look, necromancer. Okay, no problem. Undead. The necromancer unfortunately has students. Oh my gosh! And he's decided he's tag teamed with the local whatever called the local burglars and stuff like that. So you got thieves in there or burglars in there, but he's still in charge. And anytime somebody dies, he raises up someone. Okay, so that's how it works. For example, a necromancer will be a tier two one. There's going to be a few ones that are going to be like lords and stuff like that, which will be really high level. So I'm going to have a basic group of that here. But this is just me getting them down right now to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Like the dire wolf will be animal, of course. Giant spider, animal. I mean, you could have a giant spider in the start of the maze. Okay. They can start of the adventure. You go through you have the deck of monsters. You go through it. You get to the monster one. Yes, he might have it where the maze says anyone's underneath it is considered to be in the the dungeon itself. Boom! All of a sudden now you have you first walk into the dungeon. Boom! The necromancer has to be coming out, but every single turn it adds more and more to the deck. Yeah, it's, for example, is one of the scenarios, or it could be the last one. You've completely wiped out the dungeon. The necromancer's the only thing left. He cowers in the back, saying, "Don't hurt me. Take the treasure." But the two legendary ones are at the very end, which I'll have two adventures going through the whole thing. Which my plan is having it something like 10, um, like three fights each, or I could make it two, three, four fights each. Although the last one doesn't make any difference. You could make it two, three, or three, three. That'd probably be better. Three and three. Yeah. And then of course to fight the legendary one, you have to have another three. Yeah, three fights to go through that, which is all possible. You have your weapons off to the side, or I'm probably going to put the weapons straight up on the cards for each of the monsters, weapons and armor. So each character will have weapons and armor. I'm still debating an armor though. But I do have armor in here. Let me see. This one got jumped over. It's got to be when it hits this thing. Oh no, I had. That's why I did it. Okay. Um, fighter, don't need that in there no more. See, this is where I was starting to figure things out. It's like Goblin Fat Boy. I was like, all right, that's one of them ones I want. Those are going to be specifically characters in the group. An exhausted human. This is the necromancer. Should be higher health than that, but still. And this is what I just basically got. Which each, if I put him to Lord status, I'm gonna at least give him two spells. But and this one remove one damage. If you do hit your armor, that's what you get to do. That's why multiple people attacking the same person helps. Oh, look, I did 1 damage. Oh, you stopped 1 damage. Oh, look, a second person attacked. Oh, you're going to stop 1 damage. You only will be able to defend yourself once. I gotta put that down. Attacks happen simultaneously. Can only defend. Roll defense dice once. Roll defense dice once. Because that gives you how well you're doing for defense wise. For example, plate mail, heavy, stops 3 damage. It needs 3 shields. Chainmail, 2 shields, stops 1 damage. A shield needs 1 shield, can be merged with any medium or heavy armor, not light armor. But for example, height armor, which a lot of monsters will have, needs 2 foot, stops 1 damage. So that gives you an idea on that part too. Slings use foot. A short bow uses 1 sword and one foot. Does 1 damage. Although for these things, I want to make it that they're farther back. But that's not the point. There's no going to be no extra hidden attack for the burglars or anything else like that. The burglars are just made for that part there. And you can have a all burglar team. You can have an all magician team. You can have an all champions team. You can have all chaplain team. You're playing with 4 other people. Okay. And this does not need to have a guy sit off the side. So you can have 4 of your friends just playing the game by itself. It's like, okay, you could play it by yourself. I'm just playing it by myself, which is a good thing. At least I think it is. You can play the game all by yourself. See Poison Fangs. If poison, roll 1 fighter die, which that's got 1 attack die. Die each round until combat is done. On sword, damage is taken. So, Kobold Priest, Harm Spell. I haven't even done spells yet. I did them, and I said, no, I don't like the way these are working. I got to change these out. So, yeah. Delete. There we go. These are just tier 1 weapons and armor, which I still got to figure out more. I don't know how I'm going to figure out more armor. But they got what they are: medium, light, medium, medium, light, medium, heavy for the great sword. I know magic weapons will, like, if you have a firebrand sword, you get 1 elemental dice you can roll when you use a sword. Add 1 elemental dice. Now, there are going to be possible creatures, which I'm thinking there will be, creatures that are immune to elemental damage, certain elemental damage. Who's this come into effect? Possibly if there's a red dragon. Yeah. I might be changing the blue dragon to another dragon. Blue dragon's water. They're immune to water. 1 second, be right back. course, like the storm giant, immune to any wind attacks. Plain and simple. The blue dragon will have a breath weapon here. So, and I just realized that it's the thing. I'm missing it. Okay, we're gonna end it right here. I just forgot about the Grind Kings gaming thing, and I'm gonna go watch it. So I'm cutting it off right here. So you guys go to Grind King Gaming here. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna host it here. They're having their talk here. Wrong button. Wrong button. Sucks trying to type with on my own arm doesn't want to work. Ah. Oh, I spelled kings wrong. Copy slash host paste because kings is a Z. There we go. You guys all have a good one.